It started with a whisper I wasn't meant to hear. A voice, low and hurried, coming from the kitchen at midnight. My wife, Emily, was on the phone, her tone sharp, different. I couldn't make out every word, but one phrase cut through the quiet. "He doesn't suspect a thing." The words slid into my chest like a blade. I lay in bed frozen, my heart thudding in my ears. I told myself it couldn't be what it sounded like. Maybe she was talking about work, a friend, anything else. But even then I knew. Something inside me cracked that night. In the morning, Emily was calm, smiling as if nothing was wrong. She brewed coffee, kissed my cheek, asked about my day. I played along, my body going through the motions while my mind raced. Every glance, every word felt staged. When she said, "You're quiet today," I smiled and lied. "Just tired." But my eyes kept drifting to her phone, lying face down on the counter like it was hiding something. That's when the small details began to surface. Tiny red flags that once seemed harmless. Late nights at the office. The sudden need to keep her phone on silent. The way she'd tilt the screen away when a message popped up. I wanted to confront her, to rip the truth out and end the slow suffocation. But I was scared. Scared of being right. Scared of what that truth would do to me. One evening, she came home smelling faintly of cologne that wasn't mine. She hugged me, tight and brief, before heading straight to the shower. I stood there staring at the front door, imagining him, this faceless man. His hands where mine used to be. My jaw ached from clenching it. That night I couldn't sleep. I turned on her phone's backup sync, something I'd set up years ago for safety. It wasn't long before messages began appearing on my laptop. Reading them felt like drowning. "Last night was amazing," he wrote. "He still doesn't know." Her reply came seconds later. "Not yet. Then we can finally have what we want." My throat tightened. The betrayal itself was bad enough, but there was something else buried in their words, a plan. Kept reading. They weren't just cheating, they were plotting. Against me. Over the next few days, I gathered pieces of their scheme. Emily had access to my company's financial records. I trusted her with them, thinking it was safer to keep everything in the family. But she and her lover, someone named Daniel, were planning to use that trust to destroy me. The messages were explicit. Forged documents, fake accusations, enough to ruin my reputation and force me out. They'd already set the pieces in motion. For days I said nothing. I smiled when she smiled. I laughed when she joked. I touched her hair and pretended I didn't know she was selling my future for someone else's ambition. Inside I was building something dark. A quiet resolve. Revenge maybe. Justice definitely. I started with Daniel. He was a mid-level investor at a firm I'd partnered with once. Found him easily. His online presence was spotless, curated, but there were traces. A second phone number, a private account, a car registered under a fake name. He wasn't just careless. He was overconfident. That was his weakness. One night, Emily told me she'd be home late again. I kissed her goodbye and waited 10 minutes before following her. My hands trembled on the steering wheel, not from fear, but from the rush of adrenaline coursing through me. Her car led me across town to a quiet hotel, its neon sign flickering in the fog. I parked across the street and watched as she stepped out, glancing around before disappearing inside. I didn't go in. I didn't need to. The image was enough to burn itself into me. That night I made my move. Copied every message, every document, every photo. I recorded her phone calls. By morning I had everything. But I wasn't going to destroy her immediately. Well, that would have been too easy. When she returned home the next morning, her makeup couldn't hide the exhaustion or the guilt. She smiled faintly, asked if I wanted breakfast. "Sure," I said. My voice was calm. "To come." The following week I called Daniel. I posed as a client, pretending to have a lucrative deal for him. I arranged a meeting at his office. When he arrived, I slid an envelope across the table. Inside were copies of his messages, photos of him with Emily, and a letter addressed to his boss detailing their plan. He went pale. Who are you? He asked, his voice shaking. Someone who's been watching, I said. You're going to back out of whatever you and Emily planned. You're going to disappear from her life. If you don't, this goes to your firm, your wife, your entire network. He opened his mouth to argue, but I leaned forward. Try me. He didn't. Within 2 days, his number stopped working. His profiles vanished. Emily noticed, of course. She grew anxious, distant. One evening, I caught her scrolling through her messages, panic in her eyes. Something wrong? Yes. She hesitated. No, just work stuff. He nodded. Right. Work stuff. That night, she woke to the sound of my phone ringing. It was her firm's HR department. They wanted to confirm some documents she'd submitted. Documents that conveniently placed blame for certain financial discrepancies on me. She froze as I handed her the phone. Emily, I said softly, you should probably explain. Her face drained of color. She tried to deny it, to spin another lie, but I'd already turned everything over. To her company, to my lawyer, to everyone who needed to know. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't throw things. I just watched as she broke apart under the weight of her own deceit. When she realized what I'd done, her expression shifted from fear to disbelief. You set me up, she whispered. No, I said quietly. You set yourself up. I just let you finish the story. By morning she was gone, her clothes, her phone, everything. I thought I'd feel relief, maybe triumph. But all I felt was emptiness. The house was too quiet, the air too still. I found her wedding ring on the counter beside her favorite mug. For a moment I almost called her. Almost. Weeks passed before I learned the rest. Daniel had fled the city. His firm was investigating him. Emily lost her job. The plan they'd built together collapsed, leaving nothing but ashes. Sometimes I still replay those nights in my head. The whispers, the lies, the quiet unraveling of everything we built. I wonder if I became like them, if in exposing their betrayal, I lost something of myself too. Maybe I did. But at least now, when I look in the mirror, I see the truth. And that's something they'll never have again.